Arsenal can destroy Manchester United, and in today's video we will be looking at how they can do it, who must play for them to achieve to do it, and all the other stuff too. But before I do begin, if you are new here, please do hit the subscribe and the like button as well. But let's get on with the video. So after watching Manchester United's first game under Carrick, I think there's a huge opportunity for Arsenal to find a lot of space against this United side. They're rumoured to be coming out with a high press as well, no fear. And to be honest, I don't mind that whatsoever. This is the lineup I would play. Luis Skelly, Gabriel Saliba, Zubimendi, Rice, Jurin Timber right back, Ødegaard, Jesus, Rice, Martinelli and Saka. Probably said Rice twice there, but that is the team I would play. If Calafiori is fit, I would play him at left back and then I would have his movements as well. But after watching Manchester United's first game against Manchester City, I found that there's a lot of opportunities for blindside runs in behind Casemiro and in behind Kobbie Mainoo. I feel like these out-to-win runs of Ødegaard, who's, I think, in my opinion, one of the best pocket players in the Premier League and in Europe, can really destroy Manchester United, because what Manchester City weren't doing enough was they were not finding their players in the pockets enough. They weren't having enough movement in the pockets. It was far too static. And we know how Arsenal are, a lot of off-the-ball movement. And Miles Lewis-Skelly coming into midfield to sort of combine with Zubimendi to make a two in there. Those small movements with Rice a little bit higher, Ødegaard in these pockets, we can create an overload in the middle. And I'm about to show you quite a weird sequence from the game Manchester United played against Manchester City. And of course, here you can see in the clip, Manchester City with that back three structure. Imagine Rodri would be our Zubimendi in this sequence. And then in the pocket here is our Ødegaard. And then, of course, you've got your Declan Rice in there, moving inside, or that could be your Gabriel Jesus, and this is why I want to play Jesus as well. But before I get into that, so we're about to see how Manchester City move this ball around, and as you can see, United did do the high press. Dorgu, the two at the front with Fernandes and Mbeumo, 4-4-2, Ahmad marking the wide centre half as well, then the two in the middle there to try and cover the spaces in the movement. And we're about to see City move this ball on. It's come to the right hand side and City are about to play it into this space. Ball goes in there. We're about to see it. Now, I think it's Bernardo Silva on the ball, found the pocket of space. And as you can see, Foden, who originally in the first clip was a little bit deeper, has made an off-the-ball run. Because one thing I noticed about Kobbie Mainoo is he gets attracted to the ball really easily. He can be pulled out of his zone quite easily. He's a phenomenal player, Mainoo, in tight spaces, and he can defend to a reasonable level in a pivot. But if you want to get joy out of him, pull him out with movement, his sort of knowledge of what's in and around him isn't to the highest level. And I feel like if you can pull someone out there, like in red you've got Bernardo Silva there, if that's an Ødegaard pulling into this space, you can then make it so Casemiro is left on an island. And whether that's Rice moving over to the right hand side, Miles moving onto the right hand side, Timber in the middle of the park, as we build up with those three with Zubimendi as the middle centre half, we can do that as well. Just have people making lots of blindside runs in behind this double pivot. And we're about to move this on again. Bernardo Silva in possession. He then passes it in to Phil Foden, who's receiving in this pocket. And now look at the amount of players. You've got Semenyo, you've got Haaland, you've got Bernardo Silva. But more importantly, holding the width is Jeremy Dogu. And this is why I want to play Gabriel Martinelli. Because I think Martinelli is going to have a lot of joy where he's left wide on the flanks with lots of space to work with, because that's what happens. United go man for man on the first line. They'll have a player marking different players, and they leave the left winger on their own. It's just how they played, how they operated against Manchester City. It means there's going to be a lot of 1v1s for Martinelli and a lot of opportunities for him to go at his man, and it's about him having the quality to beat his man. It's as simple as that. And that's why I've opted for him over Trossard, because I think he can exploit those spaces out wide really, really nicely with those runs inside, with those runs as well in there, with Rice in this pocket of space. And if it is Calafiori, even better. With his movements across the pitch, I feel like he's going to be real help doing those blindside runs in between Mainoo, in between Casemiro. Where is Calafiori actually? I feel like if he's fit, he has to start. But for me, it will be Miles. I wouldn't be doing Ben left back, Timber right left back, and then Ben right back. That won't work for this game. We need a left footer so that if the ball does get over to left hand side and our left back has it, they're able to play these balls into the channel for Martinelli to run onto. And you can't do that with a right footer. You can't play those balls that swing into the line of the running winger. So You're about to see Manchester City are going to move this ball on. They switch it. And there you see in the other pocket now is Bernardo Silva. So just about imagine here how Arsenal play and look at the space that Bernardo Silva currently has in this left-hand side pocket. And I imagine Declan Rice there with his carrying ability. He's already dragged Ahmad inside the pitch. And then you're saying, okay, 1v1, I fancy Gabriel Martinelli against Dalot. Dorgu, phenomenal 1v1 defender. But ultimately, you think about the Emirates Stadium, you feel about the occasion. It could be a real opportunity for a man to just take on his fullback. And I feel like Martinelli, with the space that was left on the left-hand side, would have such a field day. And the ball's about to get to him, and you can already see. 1v1 situation for Dorgu. Not Dorgu, sorry, for Jeremy Doku, and you fancy him. And I want to note as well, Nathan Ake, because if this is Calafiori, he's probably making runs into this space. And there's a lot of opportunity for runs into this zone. Whether it is Declan Rice making this run, we can have that energy and the speed running beyond Casemiro, running beyond Mainu. It's not just about finding those pockets, but if we have runners beyond Mainu and Casemiro, we're going to have a lot of joy. And we look at our legs in there, whether it's Zubimendi, whether it's Rice, there's a lot of freedom. If they can constantly keep probing, moving, there's space in this little half space there for them to get goals, to create opportunities, to be able to then put balls across. And you're probably wondering why Gabriel Jesus, because for me, what City didn't have was a 9 that was able to move in to then create an even more of an overload in the middle. If you have a 9 that you're able to hit into his feet, Jesus has the turning radius, it's quality to turn on the ball. So if we fire it into Jesus, he'll make it stick, and we'll be able to get men in and around him as quickly as possible. Because Mainu and Casemiro, for me, is where the game is going to be won. And if we can just force those balls through the middle, whether it's Gabriel, whether it's Miles, there's opportunities for this ball to go straight into Gabriel Jesus, and then we can play with Martinelli as a runner, Saka as a ball-to-feet player. The profiles in the front line fit so well. This is the opportunity. And Gyökeres can come on 70th minute as a runner. Then you bring on Trossard for Martinelli for more ball security, or Eze for Martinelli for more ball security. But if Arsenal start with this front three, with Rice and Zubimendi, with Rice making those off the ball runs off of Casemiro, Zubimendi coming in here to make a 3, allowing for Lewis Skelly to come inside the pitch, there's real opportunities for Arsenal. And you're probably saying, why Ødegaard? Pockets. It doesn't really matter how good he is once he's receiving in those pockets. Just him being in those pockets and then finding Saka 1v1 against Shaw, who's a player who does struggle against Saka 1v1. He gives so much respect. He moves back, and then Saka's right up against your box. Then you think about players getting in there. Martinelli at the back stick, Rice as well, Ødegaard in this space, Timber as well. There's some real opportunity to sort of pen Manchester United in and make this a box game. And if we make it a box game, we're going to have a lot of joy. And I'm going to be honest, Man United are going to have a lot of transitions. And not as many as they had against City, because our defence is better. But I trust us because we understand, okay, sometimes we can just sit in our 4-4-2 shape. We'll restrict our opposition. We don't get nervous. We don't jump out of our positions. We're really strong in our structure. So those transitions will be limited. And then you trust us to win the ball back. Whether that's Rice jumping on Casemiro, jumping on Mainu. There's opportunities for some high turnovers as Manchester United build up as well. But anyway, that's it for now. Let me know your thoughts. And until next time,